Here are the 5 big takeaways from Budget 2018-19. National Health Protection Scheme.
My government has now decided to take healthcare protection to a new aspirational level.
The big announcement in Budget 2018-19 is the National Health Protection Scheme for 10 crore poor families.
We are now launching a flagship National Health Protection Scheme to cover 10 crore poor and vulnerable families.
The Finance Minister pegged it the largest such scheme in the world, with potentially 50 crore individual beneficiaries. The scheme will provide a cover of 5 lakh per family per year for secondary and tertiary healthcare. Where would the money come from? Some are already calling it a recipe for fiscal disaster. Also, the potential stress it would place on state-owned insurance companies. Agriculture and rural investment. Aiming to address rural distress, the Finance Minister announced the MS Swaminathan formula of minimum support price, MSP, will be implemented.
मुझे ये घोषणा करते हुए अत्यंत प्रसन्नता का अनुभव हो रहा है कि तय किए गए सिद्धांत के अनुसार सरकार ने आगामी खरीफ की सभी अधिघोषित फसलों का न्यूनतम समर्थन मूल्य उत्पादन लागत से कम 1.5 गुना करने का फैसला ले लिया है.
Acknowledging that connecting the farmer to the market is the big challenge, the Finance Minister announced the expansion of electronically connected e-mandis through the existing e-NAM project. 470 mandis, Jaitley said, have been connected so far. But the e-market model has come in for criticism from some quarters, with it being seen as a non-starter or still a work in progress. To boost food processing units, the budget has been doubled to 1,400 crores. Also a 100% deduction for farmer-producer companies having a 100 crore turnover. Also finding mention in the budget speech is Delhi NCR's dangerously high levels of air pollution, with the Finance Minister announcing a scheme to support Haryana, Punjab, Uttar Pradesh and Delhi NCR by subsidizing machinery for stubble burning or crop residue. Crop stubble burning, remember, is one of the big causes of pollution in the Delhi NCR region. Taxation. There were no changes in the personal income tax slab rates, but the government introduced a standard deduction of 40,000 rupees for the salaried class. This is what it means. So far, business people could bring down their taxable income by deducting expenses made towards carrying out their business. Salaried people had limited tax-free allowances. This move allows for a flat deduction of 40,000 rupees from the salary income. Now, this one prompted some booing from the opposition. Corporate tax rate has been brought down to 25% from the current 30% for companies with a turnover of up to 250 crores. So, not for all corporates, only MSMEs, as Mr. Jaitley was quick to point out.
Madam, are they objecting to any concession to MSMEs?
Perhaps not wanting to be dubbed Sood Boot Ki Sarkar in an election year. Long-term capital gains tax. The reintroduction of the long-term capital gains tax at 10% dampened the markets. Basically, profits of over 1 lakh from shares and equity mutual fund investments held over 1 year will be taxed at 10%. Such profits were tax-exempt so far. The short-term capital gains tax, which is tax on profits from investments under 1 year, remains at 15%. Disinvestment and fiscal deficit. The numbers are good on the disinvestment front. The government will get 100,000 crore rupees against a budgeted 72,000 crore rupees in 2017-18. The government projects it will get 80,000 crore rupees in 2018-19. There's bad news though on the fiscal deficit front. Fiscal deficit, remember, is the difference between the government's total revenue and total expenditure. The target for that deficit set for 2017-18 has been breached, and Mr. Jaitley has revised the fiscal deficit target for 2018-19 to 3.3% of the GDP, against the earlier target of 3%. Given that this is the last full budget before elections 2019, the government sought to push through its pro-poor message through several announcements. For example, 80 million poor families will get free cooking gas connections and an allocation of 16,000 crores for electricity to rural areas.